And my job is to get Barbara Volk up here, the mayor of Hendersonville, who's going to introduce Elaine Marshall to you. So, do you want the stuff, Barbara?
No way with these heels am I getting on that stuff. I'm sorry. I'll just stand next to it. Elaine can get on it if she likes. Hello. Yes. This is going to be a very short intro, just like I'm a very short person. So I have the distinct honor, pleasure to introduce a woman who has already contributed immensely to the state of North Carolina. And we are looking forward to having her as our next U.S. Senator from North Carolina, our current Secretary of State, Elaine Marshall.
Everything else. So this has been exciting. You give me a great welcome. It warms my heart. Let me tell you, we've just had 3 very excellent events in Brevard and Haywood County and here, and I like this mountain magic. This is good. This is really, really good. I do want to thank Doug very, very much for what he does for the party. One hard-working guy. Where did she get to? But all of you party folks, yeah, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, Chris Dixon, has Chris been here? Yeah. Okay, Chris, hi, how you doing? And Rodney King? Yeah. Thank you. We like registers of deeds. I work with those all the time, so good luck to you. We can compare notes later. And I want to thank Tony and Gail Wayne for all of the accommodations about this event. So thank you all very, very much. Oh, is this been a stump speech here? Yeah, okay. I've now seen the stump. Okay. In Harnett County, my county, we have to pay to get on that and talk. That's a fundraiser, so maybe somebody keep the microphone right up here. Is that better? Okay, that's great. That's great. Well, here we are, folks. We are basically, 6 weeks. Early vote starts the 14th of October, and things are exciting. There is now everything that's been said, that people can say, been known to man, that's out there, good, bad, and indifferent, but you know what, it's going to get worse. I need you all to stay the course. I need you all to fend off all the stuff when your opponent has got millions of dollars that comes from special interests, and he's burning it off at a very high rate right now, thank goodness, and not making much penetration. That's a good thing, but he's still got plenty more to burn off, and by the time he's through, he's going to try to convince people that I'm a four-headed monster of some sort. So please let him know I've been here in your community, and that's not who I am. Let's talk about this race. This is a very, very important race. With the way the law has changed about money and who can spend and who doesn't have to tell who and all the independent expenditures, it is going to be tough. I need good citizens like you to speak up and talk to your neighbors, to write letters, to telephone folks, to go to wherever people gather, the coffee place at Hardee's or McDonald's or wherever you all eat and drink coffee and solve all the problems of the world, and to tell folks what is at stake in this race. I got into this race about a year ago based upon where we are, our place in time. It is no secret. We are living through the toughest of economic times that most any of us in this pavilion have ever lived through. The deficits are growing and jobs are scarce. And when people look at Washington, they realize that it's broken. In the last 30 years, the gap between the rich and the middle class has grown ever larger, and the resolve to do anything about it has grown very, very weak. Washington is broken. When folks look at Washington, here's what they see. They see laws being written behind closed doors to protect corporate profits. They see decisions being made upon the next election, not the long-range future of this country. And it's abundantly clear that they see politicians more concerned with saving their jobs than saving our jobs. And there are a lot of voices that are not being heard, because who's being left out? It's the voice of the forgotten man, the forgotten woman, the folks who work hard, play by the rules, and yet see the American dream slipping through their fingers. It is time we stood up for them. It is time we give our forgotten communities a voice, our forgotten men and women, and stand up for North Carolina values and stand up for the working folks of this country, because we truly have got to have a strong middle class. It is important. That's the envy and the great salvation of this country. And I think some of you agree with me about that. So thank you. I know these are tough challenges ahead of us, and it's going to take somebody with a whole bunch of grit and determination to do something about it. And I kind of feel like I've been in training for that my whole lifetime. I grew up in rural Maryland, where there wasn't an expectation for kids like me to go to college. In fact, in our community, a lot of families didn't even insist that their kids graduate from high school, because you could always stay on the farm, or you could go work in the factory, and you could live and you could do. But a public school teacher saw something in me and encouraged me to do more. And a 4-H agent, a program that was essential to me during my youth and growing up, encouraged me and my family to find a way to get to college. And I am very pleased to be the first one from my family to be able to attend and graduate from college. In my adult career, thank you. In my adult career, I've stood with ordinary people against powerful interests and held them accountable. I became a lawyer after being a small business owner, and I represented women who were victims of domestic violence and helped get our first rape crisis center started in Harnett County. It's a safe house now, it's still in existence, and I'm real proud of that work. When I served in the North Carolina Senate, I found a way to expand health care coverage, access to our rural areas, because I knew what it was like as a kid to grow up feeling like a second-class citizen because of where you lived. And that was wrong then, and it was wrong when I served in the North Carolina Senate. All of our citizens need to have equal access if they're going to have anything close to equal opportunity. And in the last 2 years, I've had to stand up for Wall Street. In the last 2 years, we have returned over $500 million to North Carolina families and businesses and other investors, because Wall Street misrepresented certain products, and we've been able to get them back into the hands of the rightful owners. I know whose side I'm on, and I hope you can see whose side I'm on. And it's time that we rally together to be on the side of those folks who don't have a voice, who are not being heard. And we've got to begin to change Washington. We can't change it if we continue to send back the same folks we've been sending before. Yeah. We've got to start by creating jobs. We've got to change this economy. We've got to move on. I'm looking forward to seeing more Made in America. How about you? I've been a small business owner. I know what it's like to tough it out, and it's hard. I know what it's like at the end of the month to pay your employees, hopefully pay your vendors, and maybe there's a little something left over to pay yourself. That's why I've worked real hard to cut down on the red tape that it takes to start a business and create jobs and get your financing here in North Carolina. We've got to make sure that small business, which is the economic engine of this recovery, has the credit that they need to create the jobs that we need. And as we move through this recession, we've got to make smart investments for the future. That means making sure that there is a well-qualified teacher in every safe classroom all across this state, all across this country, so that we can have, again, the best education system in the world. And we need to be sure that when our young people leave college, they're not burdened with crippling debt. What's wrong is America's got the wrong priorities with the leadership and Richard Burr. We've got to change our priorities. We've got to go back to rewarding hard work and not the quick Wall Street deal. Instead of providing tax breaks to companies to ship jobs overseas, we need to provide incentives to create jobs right here in America.